Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, hey, we're in a new place. You can hear a little bit of reverb. I apologize. Woo! Yeah, just a little bit of reverb. We're working on it. I'm trying to take care of it. Guys, this is not the video that I wanted to make. The first day that I sit down in my new setup and it's not what I wanted. It's really not. But at this point, I'm seeing all over Twitter, all over social media. And first of all, I want to say I've written a full 2,000 word script for this whole conversation. So if you see me looking at my computer, if you see me looking right here, it's because I need to make sure that I'm on track. I'm talking about the right thing. Guys, this has gotten absolutely out of hand. First of all, I need you to do me a favor. Share this video. Share the video. Just everybody needs to see this. This is a conversation that needs to be had. This is something that we need to get going in the community, even more than what it is now, because if not, things will never change. We got to talk about it. For the sake of who I am as a person, and for the sake of the brand that I've built around not taking anyone's we've got to have the discussion. To start things off, I need to say that the way that Activision has been running their business over the past few years, the past few games that we've seen, is absolutely disgusting. The strong hand that they have put over Treyarch, Infinity Ward, and even Sledgehammer Games has seemingly began to ruin the entire franchise and basically make it unplayable for a lot of people that want to play it on the daily, a large part of their audience. From like a short-term business perspective, they seem to be doing things right, you know, but when it comes to the real consumers, like retaining those same people that they already have, it seems like they really don't care. I say they don't care, but let's say this. It's pretty understandable thinking about like shareholders and things like that. You got to get those investments and you got to get them over and over and over. You got to keep the shareholders happy every single time they have a quarterly meeting. You know, everybody needs to be happy. But at the end of the day, it is hurting the end consumer. Everything that they're doing, focusing on the short term, is making it bad for the people that are actually playing the game and the people that are actually paying the bills that Activision has. I say that, but we're going to talk about something a little bit that's going to blow your mind that you may not already know. It seems like they've forgotten about anything except for the numbers that they need to be hitting every single quarter, every single month, whatever it may be. Now, as we all know, and if you don't, first of all, if you don't know, I'm not really sure what rock you've been laying under, what rock you've been hiding under, but there's a massive problem in Call of Duty Warzone with cheating. There's a problem with not just Call of Duty Warzone, but Call of Duty in general. While we are going to largely be talking about Warzone and the issues at hand with Warzone, it is all across every single new title that Activision's been putting out via Treyarch, Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer, stuff like that. I'm sure we're going to see something like that in the following year. Before we go any further, I do want to say something that is a little bit of a disclaimer to you guys. I want to say I'm very, very thankful for the fact that I'm able to produce Warzone content, and it's helped to give me a platform that I've yet to be able to build through playing any other game. You know, it's something that I didn't think was going to be happening this year, especially with the pandemic that we saw. However, Warzone does not make me who I am. I am not a one game Andy. If I need to play something else, if I need to grow and branch off, I think you guys agree with me. A lot of you guys are going to stick around and you're going to stick with me for most of that, you know. Some of you guys obviously are just going to disappear and never see me again, but that's okay. My point is, the only people that I have to thank for my success, definitely not Activision, but the only people I have to thank for that are you guys, for watching me and vibing with me on the daily. On top of that, I also want to state that I do realize that I do have a career that most people watching this video would kill to have, okay? Yet a lot of those same people are thinking, or would simply say to me, that I'm complaining or that I just need to shut up whenever it comes to the issues that are in this stupid video game that you play all day, because I get to play video games all day and not have a worry in the world. And to that, I'll say this, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, it is my prerogative as to whether or not I decide to explain to you all the things that go into me being a creator on this platform, or you know, any creator on any platform. It's their prerogative as to whether or not they tell you the behind the scenes things that they deal with on the daily, and the sheer time put into this. In the first couple of years of me doing this full time, I was putting in 14 to 16 hours a day, just so you guys know. So you know, there's a lot of things that go into it, and I feel like if we had that discussion, you'd be completely baffled as to whether or not this is something that a lot of you guys could even consider doing, and it just seems like some stupid job. The way that I look at it is, if I'm not going to scoff at the things that you do, I think that it's fair for me to expect the same courtesy. While I do understand that I'm in the limelight a little bit more than you guys, it seems fair to me. Now, the fact is that Warzone is in a bad spot, and if it wasn't a large part of what I do, if it wasn't part of, the whole YouTube channel, I probably wouldn't even speak about it in the first place. But I think you all deserve the conversation, as well as the larger audience that will likely be able to watch this video, because you beautiful humans are going to share it and, let everybody else see it. Now, I do realize that that's been a ton of preamble. I've talked a lot, but I felt like we couldn't really discuss the problems at hand without having that discussion first. I realized it was 5 minutes. I apologize. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about it. Since the beginning of Warzone, ladies and gents, there have been cheaters. Heck, since the beginning of Call of Duty, there have been cheaters. However, something changed whenever Call of Duty Modern Warfare was introduced into the franchise. We added a little something that everybody's been wanting, or everybody thought they wanted, and that something is cross-play. In theory, it's a good idea. Cross-play, you get to play with your friends that are on PC, Xbox, things like that. However, when you introduce something like this, you have to understand that, unless you have a 13 IQ, I guess, and you're really stupid like somebody like, or maybe a whole big AAA game company. We're not gonna name any names here. You have to understand that if something can be exploited, then it is going to be exploited. And, at first it didn't really seem too bad. We had PC players that were obviously a little bit better because they had those frames and things like that. And it gave them the opportunity to have a little bit of the upper hand. But we had very, very few cheaters. However, there was a problem. And the problem came with the fact that the game had a price tag originally, and now we are working our way into a free-to-play battle royale. And naturally, free-to-play, or FTP for short, should be exciting for everyone. However, for some reason, the game was not built from the ground up with an anti-cheat or a collaboration with an anti-cheat company in mind. And by the way, that's something that every single free-to-play massive multiplayer online game has nowadays. I don't know how this didn't pop into their head. Take, for example, Fortnite. Fortnite was built in collaboration with Easy Anti-Cheat. We saw some things with, Valorant, right? We had Valorant where they had this huge discussion as to whether or not it should have kernel level access in their computer, because it reaches down and deep into the very, very root access while the game is running for Valorant, so they know that there's no cheats. Now, personally, I don't have a problem with that. If they want to see the deepest roots of my soul just to know that I'm not cheating so I can enjoy the game, that's something that I sign up for when I hop into the game. That's a checkbox that like when you accept the terms and conditions, you may not know what's going on, but at the end of the day, I was trying not to say something rude. You click the box. Okay, that's my point. With that said, look at Fortnite. They had easy anti-cheat, and while you may find a cheater every once in a while, like I'd say like once a month, if anything, maybe like once a quarter, in all reality, I actually never saw a cheater the whole time I played Fortnite. And I played that for the first year that the game was out. So that's pretty tough for me to think that there were no cheaters in that, because they just had an anti-cheat. Isn't that a little bit weird? So the question comes into play whenever we start thinking about the way that Activision decided to build Warzone, whenever they decided to create this. First of all, they had Blackout. I do want to point that out. They had Blackout before, which didn't have an anti-cheat because it wasn't crossplay. However, if they're going to basically copy everything that Fortnite was doing, and you can go back and you can compare the way that it was, they literally copied everything, including the store system, while making you pay more than Fortnite, which blows my mind for a lot of things. If they're going to copy everything that they did, why not look at it? And the first thing that pops up whenever the game loads is easy anti-cheat. So if they can see that, why was that not the very first thing that they thought about when they built it? I mean, heck, on top of that, why can't they do what Fortnite did, where they actually update the game once a week and make sure that everything's going swell, instead of being like, oh, we'll just wait until the next title update 1.73 in 7 months. That's a little weird. Anyway, that's a discussion for a different time. My point is, ladies and gentlemen, they knew that the anti-cheat was needed. So why wasn't it implemented? Why was it not added? What is the deal with that? Why did Activision decide not to add an anti-cheat? Well, there's a very simple answer for this, and I feel like a lot of you guys may already know what I'm getting into. And the answer is, ladies and gentlemen, ding, 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 the big green greed. Greed. Activision is arguably one of the greediest companies in the world. And it's the exact same reason that I will never, ever sign a contract that comes from Activision for my content or anything like that. It's the same reason I'll never get a code or work with Activision or get paid from Activision. It just won't happen, is because they're so greedy, and I simply cannot trust that big green greedy company to not screw me over or screw over my audience. And you guys matter the most to me. So if something like that is going to happen, I'm not going to be happy about it. So with that said, I mean, like we've seen things like this in the past before. Just so you guys know, we've seen people like the big head dog EA, you know, Electronic Arts. They had a problem with greed as well in the past, and they were like, you know what, guys, if you don't like it, then don't buy it. And god dang it, if they didn't buy it. But God, you know what? We'll get into this in just a second. Let me give you a quick example of how greedy Activision is. And this is what I was talking about earlier. That's probably going to blow your mind. I don't know if you know this. I'd like to remind you that, you know, for those of you that do know this, that in early 2019, Activision actually laid off 800 people. And you might be thinking, you know what, Expel, it's because they were doing so bad, man. They didn't have the money. Yeah, no, they weren't doing great. They were not doing great. I think they made $2 billion this last year, and they didn't make anywhere close to that. I'm sorry, they made just that off of Call of Duty. Let me be very clear about that. They didn't make anywhere close to that year. But here's the weird thing. They did it not because they couldn't afford to pay him, but because they wanted that big fat tax break, ladies and gentlemen. They literally laid off 800 people that were doing their jobs and making the games better so they can get a tax break. Yeah, so there's that. And they did. They got a massive tax break. In fact, not only did they get a tax break where they didn't have to pay as much, they actually they got a refund. Yeah, they got a $200 million refund. Let that sink in. $200 million because they laid off those people. We know that Activision is greedy. All right, we do. But why is that such a big deal? You know, every single for-profit company has the goal of making money, Expel. What's the deal? What's the difference with Activision? They got to make their money. Well, the fact is, ladies and gentlemen, is that Activision knows that they have a very dedicated player base. They have a player base that no matter what happens, they're going to follow them around. And just as an example of this, look at the Infinite Warfare debacle of 2016. You know, one of the most disliked YouTube videos on YouTube of all time, was the trailer to Infinite Warfare, man. And that's crazy. The game did not do well, but they just keep pumping out the games because after that game came out, they realized, you know what? They still bought it. These idiots still bought it. What is going on, man? These morons still bought our game. Why? What does it matter? We're just going to keep getting money as long as we put out a stupid piece of crap game, which is why, ladies and gentlemen, Charlie Intel announced today, not going to believe it, well, yesterday, as of the time of you seeing it, Call of Duty coming out with another game in 2021. Duh. I'm sorry, Charlie Intel, bro, is this like news? Did you think we weren't gonna, they haven't not put out a game since like 2009. I don't know if you remember that. Like, you remember 2009, 12 years ago? Yeah, crazy. At this point, like, they're literally just putting out a game to get that big, fat, juicy check. All right, they are. And they're right to do so because we are just a bunch of brain-dead sheep that this company is going to just keep taking our money over and over, and we're going to give it to them as long as they hand us something shiny and new, regardless of whether or not that thing that's shiny is a big, fat, polished turd. Man, I feel bad for everybody that watches this video that knows me personally because this is just my feelings that I've had about the game. And I've tried not to complain. I really have. But at this point, it's out of hand. I'm not upset with the game. I'm upset with the company that makes the game and how absolutely scummy that they are. So let's keep going. While they haven't really cared because they've made, you know, a couple billion off of Warzone, I'm sure they really like, and this is something that you guys will probably agree with, you know, Activision, they don't want hackers in the game. They don't want the game to die. You know, they're worried that the game's going to die at this point, but a little weird. They weren't earlier because, you know, Warzone's been their main source of revenue. I mean, literally, their main source of revenue, the biggest revenue maker for Activision has been Warzone. Heck, look at, you know, well, let me say this. The only reason that they're looking at it The only reason they're having the conversation about it in any way whatsoever right now or spoken publicly is because it's become such a large issue. Heck, the real only reason that they're taking a look at it is because Vicstar, one of the largest creators in the world, is making front page BBC and what is it, like New York Times News or something like that, Wall Street Journal, one or the other, for quitting the stinking game. What is the world that we live in, dude? Are you? So here's the kicker. Here's the kicker right now. You know, they must want the game to not die, but you know, they need an anti-cheat, but the kicker is they likely can't do it. I'm gonna tell you why. Yes, this has been a 16-minute video, but here's the sweet spot. So I hope you've made it this far, and if you've made it this far, say turkey salad is a funky juice. I don't know, seems good. So I don't know how many of you guys actually know my friend Rara, or if you've seen the video that he posted, or if you see esports news or anything like that, esports talk. I mean, esports news, esports talk, and them covering Rara's video. But he posted a video a while back as to whether or not we should be expecting an anti-cheat within Call of Duty Warzone, and the video that he posted is 100% truth. And I'd like to let the record show that I don't get into conspiracies. I'm not the kind of person that would even think about talking about something unless I thought that it was true, or like 99% true or something like that. So please keep that in mind as we go on. So to make a long story short, without getting into the nitty gritty details, mostly because I can't, someone, maybe even for years, at Activision that has worked with Treyarch, Infinity Ward, maybe even Sledgehammer, who has had access to even people like David Vonderhaar's computers and his personal emails and things like that, has actually been selling source code, as well as other classified assets of Call of Duty titles and probably more to other companies, and likely those actually that sell cheats to the public. Yeah. This is not a lie. I've actually personally seen images, receipts, and things like that. Rara showed it to me. Obviously, I'll explain in just a second why I'm not going to show that. Man, it's crazy because I've actually known about this since November, and that it sucks, man. I remember Rara texting me, and I was getting in the shower, and he explained the whole thing to me through a text, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Because it makes so much sense, but I knew, and I'll tell you right now, I wasn't really interested at the time in mentioning it, because if in any way it wasn't true, which it obviously is, I could have been in a situation where I had a defamation lawsuit against me or for slander against Activision. You know, that could have been something that I had to deal with, and in a one on Activision lawsuit. How do we think that that's going to go whenever it's technically leaked files? It's hard to explain, but it is it's definitely real is the thing. I feel like I'm trying to convince you that it's real. I don't care if you believe me or not, to be quite honest. I'm going to tell you what I know, and what I know to be the truth. So that's all that matters to me. You can take this video and decide what you want to do with it. But this leak was actually in November brought to the attention of Activision through a large creator. Not me. Obviously, I don't have ties to Activision. They hate me with a passion. I've never gotten a response from anybody at Activision or any company at Activision. That's probably because I talk a little bit of smack too much to Activision. Every time they tweet something, I'm like, "Where's that anti-cheat, dog? Where is it?" So this was basically all this information was given to Activision months ago, and they didn't do a thing. So since nothing happened, and things finally started going crazy with cheaters, Rara makes the video. Activision's like, "Yo, man, what was that thing you were talking about? You remember that? Do you remember that thing that you were talking about a while back? About the thing?" So Activision reaches out through that creator to Rara. This is like an OG dude. And starts asking for it again. So obviously this is something real. This is something they know is real. And there is an active case at this point. And they're trying to figure out who's selling the code, because they obviously don't know. But on top of that, it just makes it impossible because the engine's code is out there. So Contact was made, and I can't disclose any information. The DMs are personal. I'm not trying to say who the creator is. I'm not going to give you any information on that creator, and I don't want to put anybody in a bad spot, but this needed to be said. So with all that said, the simple truth, ladies and gentlemen, is it's basically going to be nearly impossible for them to implement an anti-cheat into Warzone. It is not going to be possible for them to do that, or basically any Call of Duty engine at the moment until they figure out who that guy is. And then they're basically going to have to do a whole new engine. They're going to have to figure out everything from the ground up, if I had to take a guess. Otherwise, they're going to have to work with an anti-cheat company to implement it. I don't know, man. It's going to be real freaking hard. We'll put it that way. So at this point, I don't think they're actually interested in putting an anti-cheat in the game. I think that because of the bad publicity they've been given, they're basically just trying to ride out the wave and pretend like they're going to do something when we really shouldn't be expecting anything from Activision. This has been a very, very sad video. So before we go any further, I would like to address just a couple of rumors, just to get it out of the way before you guys head out of here. So make sure not to leave yet. This is actually really, really important. There have been talks of it taking another 3 months for an anti-cheat. And maybe, you know, it'll actually happen. I think somebody was saying like Prestigious Key says something. I don't know. I'm not trying to throw names out there, but I think there was another creator, maybe him, that has had contact. And he said something. I don't know. I literally have no idea. I've been moving for the past week. But they've supposedly got something in the works for the next 3 months. I would happily, enjoy, you know, something like that, but I don't think we should be expecting an anti-cheat at all for this game. Personally, I think it's a bad idea if you start expecting them to actually do something. I think at this point we're probably going to see another battle royale built from the ground up. Other than this, that is going to take Warzone's place. In my personal opinion, that's probably what's going to happen. Also, there was another 60,000 account ban wave recently. Does this mean that they're finally getting to the cheaters? They finally figured out all the ins and outs of the websites that are selling cheats and how to get them? No, just like the last 40,000 or 20,000 or whatever it was ban wave, they have no idea what they're doing. This is a conversation that I had to have last time, and for some reason, people don't understand it. Activision doesn't know what they're doing. I'm so tired of people thinking that this AAA company is in the know of what they're doing. The only way that you think that they do is because you're over here like, oh, Activision. No. Matt, you should probably blur that. That's not what's happening, man. Activision doesn't know what's going on. They were banning people that were on PlayStation, man. They were banning people on Xbox. They were literally banning anybody that had like a ridiculous amount of like anybody that's not whitelisted, obviously, because there's streamers that are whitelisted and things like that. That this sounds really bad. I'm not saying that they're cheating. I'm saying that certain it would not look good if people that had codes got banned because they were so good at the game that they got a lot of reports on them. So they're just banning people at this point. They're just banning accounts. Obviously, a lot of them are going to be cheating accounts, but they are going to miss, and they are going to misfire. And I can tell you this because ever since the ban wave happened, my DMs have been filled with, hey, Expel, man. I got banned the other day. I don't cheat. What's the deal? You know what's going on? Can you reach out to Activision for me? First of all, no, I can't. I really can't. They don't like me. I don't have a contact. And if they reach out to me, I'll happily have a word with them. I will. I would happily speak with them. Not taking your money. Not gonna do a little hush hush. Ladies and gentlemen, it is blowing me away. Activision is a joke. It is. Just the whole company. It's a joke, man. And for the final question that you guys might be asking yourself, yo, Expel, are you gonna stop playing Warzone? Is this it? Are you gonna pull the Vic Star? Are you gonna do the Vic Star 1, 2, 3 for the squad, for the boys? Round. No, no, I can't stop playing the game or making, at the very least, making content on the game. And I'll give you the reason why. I have a lot of people that rely on me. I have a lot of people that depend on me. Heck, I got freaking Matt over here. Matt, say hey. You could just like, you don't have to actually like put your face in it, but just like hi in the. Anyway, I got people that rely on me. I've got to make sure that my bills are paid, that I can take care of the things that I got to take care of. And this is a business. So at the end of the day, I don't have the money or the assets to do what Vicstar did. And he was like, I got this. But he also made worldwide news. So it's a little bit different. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my job. I intend to do it. Your boy's going to stick around for the long run, for the long haul, for you beautiful humans. And you can expect to see me on twitch.tv/Expel. So thank you all for listening. I apologize. It's a little bit sadder of a video than I wanted to make. Man, I'm just beyond the point. I think you guys are beyond the point. We're all beyond the point. Make sure to stick around. And I look forward to making another video where we kick back, we relax, and we watch No Thumbs Nigel try and figure out how to shoot Bush Camp and Billy with a knife. I don't know. Guys, get out of here. Subscribe to the channel. Share this video. I love you. Bye.